Have you ever noticed how some people vanish quietly? Not with anger, not with a fight, but like morning mist fading over a calm lake? One moment, they're there, trying, explaining, giving their all. The next, they withdraw. Not colder, not cruel, just absent, like a lantern that didn't burn out, but chose to dim its light in a room that never noticed its glow. There's no announcement, no farewell, just a calm, deliberate retreat of energy. Psychology says this isn't a weakness. It's actually a very rare, high-value mindset trait. Most people misunderstand this behavior. Society teaches us that persistence equals strength. If you care, you chase. If you love, you fight endlessly. If you stop, it's assumed you failed. But psychology flips this completely. Stopping isn't surrender. It's clarity. It's the moment someone recognizes that their energy is precious, and not every door deserves to be knocked on forever. Behavioral psychology shows humans naturally withdraw effort when rewards are inconsistent. Disappearing isn't losing. It's survival over self-abandonment. One powerful reason is emotional exhaustion. Ego Depletion Theory by Roy Baumeister explains that our self-control and emotional effort are finite. Constantly giving, explaining, or fixing others slowly drains internal reserves. Imagine carrying a bucket of water across a desert, hoping someone meets you halfway. At first, you walk with determination. Then fatigue sets in. Eventually, you realize no one is coming. Putting the bucket down isn't weakness. It's wisdom. Those who disappear aren't quitting others, they're finally refusing to abandon themselves. Another reason is self-worth awakening. Self-determination theory by DC and Ryan explains our need for autonomy and dignity. When someone realizes they've been overgiving without mutual respect, something shifts internally. It's like a plant bending towards sunlight that never arrives. Eventually, it stops bending. Not dead, just redirecting growth toward itself. They stop asking, "How can I keep them?" and begin asking, "Why am I staying where I'm barely valued?" That shift changes everything. Emotional detachment as protection is another trait. Attachment theory by John Bowlby shows how repeated emotional disappointment leads people to deactivate outward attachment. Picture a phone that keeps dialing a number that never answers. At first, you try again and again. Eventually, you stop. Not because the phone is broken, but because you've accepted the silence. Continuing to chase in such situations would betray your own peace. Clarity through pattern recognition is another reason. Cognitive consistency theory explains that people seek alignment between beliefs and experiences. If someone is always initiating, fixing, or sacrificing, the mind eventually rejects imbalance. It's like standing in front of a distorted mirror. At first, you adjust, then you realize the mirror was never honest. Walking away becomes an act of stepping out of distortion. Then comes the shift from external validation to internal stability. Internal Locus of Control by Julian Rotter explains that some people stop depending on others for their worth. Like a ship dropping anchor in its own harbor, they stop drifting toward distant lights. In stillness, they become unshakable. Finally, nervous system regulation plays a role. Polyvagal Theory by Stephen Porges shows that when relationships feel unsafe or unpredictable, the nervous system withdraws to protect itself. Like an animal quietly leaving a place of invisible danger, disappearing becomes the body's way of choosing calm over chaos. And perhaps the deepest reason is identity transformation. Growth shrinks tolerance for emotional neglect. What once felt normal begins to feel heavy. It's like outgrowing a room you lived in for years. The walls didn't change. You did. Staying there would suffocate your expansion. There's a quiet power in no longer chasing what keeps running. It's the strength of someone who has nothing left to prove, who no longer measures worth by suffering for connection. They disappear because they finally see themselves. Once you see your value, you stop standing in places that cannot see you back. Some think disappearing is losing the story. Sometimes it's becoming the author, choosing peace over persuasion, silence over self-betrayal, distance over emotional erosion. There comes a moment when your soul stops reaching outward and starts returning home. In that moment, something extraordinary happens. You stop feeling desperate, replaceable, small. You realize your presence was never something to beg for. It was always a gift. People who stop chasing don't become empty. They become selective. Their energy stops leaking. Their attention stops wandering into places where it was never respected. They stop knocking on doors that taught silence and start building doors of their own. Comment "I relate" if this resonated with you, and tell us which trait hit you hardest. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell for more insights into human behavior, mindset, and emotional growth.